All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another show here, Locker Room Sports. Glad you could come by and hang out with me here for just a little while. Special extra edition here, like we like to do on a Thursday night. There's some news and stuff during the week. I'd like to drop in here, share some notes with you guys. What's going on, everybody, over on the YouTube page? Go over here for a second. Facebook Live. Hope everybody's having a great day today. As you could read already, the NCAA, more news breaking for the NCAA football. They have suspended another player, and this time it's going to be for the player took a pro trip, was going to go pro, and he goes to a pro camp. And he took a plane ticket, so his agent, the young man's agent here, we're talking about the NCAA, suspended Arian Carter at Tennessee for two games. Guys, they have no idea what's even going on in the country. They don't have any clue of what's going on in college football. They can't police anything. Nobody can even enforce rules that we have now in college football. The NCAA comes out and they're going to suspend Arian Carter. What do y'all think? Hit the comments over here, like, subscribe to the channel. Sure would appreciate it. So here's the deal. Arian Carter plays Tennessee. He makes a trip to go on a pro football camp. Well, his agent pays for the tickets, $400 and something. He pays his agent back, paid him back, the money. And the NCAA feels like it's important to step in, and they're going to suspend him 2 games. I don't know. I mean, there ain't really much to say. I just thought I'd report it because it's just so ironic. It's so idiotic. It don't even make sense. Apple Cast, Instagram people, iHeartRadio, and, of course, Spotify. If you're looking to just listen to the show, you can find us on our full shows on Sunday night. We usually drop about a 2-hour show, big show Sunday. And then through the week, we have a Tuesday and Thursday show, just doing this type of stuff, just some news and that kind of stuff. So if you just like to listen, if you're riding and you can't watch, that's cool. Just go over to Spotify and pick us up there, Locker Room Sports Talk. And also on YouTube, you can find us over there. What's going on, Zach Arenas? Hope you had a good day, brother. Yeah, it's free and easy. You can listen to us on podcast. It's very, very easy. Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. What of all the things that are going on in college football now, all of this, it's like they don't. I don't know. It's like NCAA is in like some kind of time machine or something, like they're in a time warp, and like they think it's 2000 or like it's whatever back in the 90s or something. Well, he took a plane trip. His agent. Yeah, I mean, this is the rule, and yes, it is a rule. But there's hundreds of other rules are being broken daily. I think they got the red buck because they lost that case to Tennessee for Nico. It's something again with a plane trip, and he broke rules because they flew him. I don't know, something like that, and they got all fired up and peed off about it. They're just trying to flex. That's what I think it is, because they should just be trying to hold on to the authority. Here's the thing. If I'm Arian Carter, honestly, guys, think about it. If I'm Carter, just play. Just play the game anyway. Just show up and go out there. And I mean, what are they going to do? What is the NCAA really going to do? We're filing down sanctions. Tennessee had to forfeit the game. Okay, yeah, go ahead and put that on there. Put it on the books that we're not going to win those 2 games. In they can't do nothing. They have no. Here's the thing: we got rules, but who's enforcing the rules? NCAA, college football, in the Save College Football Act, we've talked about that. I've talked about it a couple times. Saban went up there, a month or 2 ago, had Ted Cruz up there. The first time they went, they had the twin girls that like play volleyball or something up there, and they sat in front of the Supreme Court or whatever, or in front of the Congress, and laid out the case of what we need to do and how to make this more official and that type of stuff. Nothing's happened. That's the whole Save College Act. That kind of walks us into our next topic. Save College, Football Act is just what I said Tuesday night. It's a joke. It's way too late. All that should have been done, like Saban told them, before you are opening up this, NIL stuff, and you're going to have the portal open, 5 times a year, which is not now. They need to make some kind of rules. Let's have something to go by before we just start, just cut everybody loose, Saban warned them about this. So now the Save College Football Act, here's the thing. How are they going to police, money, and how are they going to really police the whole idea? They're saying guys can only play 5 years. I mean, it's like, what are they really going to do? Like, what can NCAA, what can they really do? Are they going to, like, go up there and grab the guy and physically arrest him or something for, like he didn't break no kind of law? It's just some rule that, they've put in place. There's nobody enforcing anything. It's kind of like gun laws. People say, we need more laws with guns. We got plenty of laws. It's just that people that break the law are the ones that get guns illegally, and that's how it goes down. When bad guys don't go to gun stores and fill out paperwork and buy guns, they buy them off the street. So these kids, that are supposed to have these rules to follow, and the whole SAVE Act is, who wants more government? Raise your hand in the back if anybody you want more government to control everything that already control everything we're doing now. Who wants more government? Who wants, more government to step in and be in control, to allocate money for institutions and how they need to spend it? What's going to happen, one, with this player crap? Like, I'm telling you, this stuff happens, piece by piece as it goes along through the time of a time frame. It's going to come a time where they're just going to break off and, probably try to have their own conference and make their own rules. And the same thing's kind of going on here in the state of Alabama, since we, broken off have single and AA private schools. Now by 28, they're talking about a Gulf State intermediate type, association in South Alabama, that type of stuff. Okay. Interesting there. Thank you, Ben. Good to see you. So if this SAVE Act is going to go through and we're going to have this, allocated monies, what happens? Because there's, like, college girls basketball don't make a lot of money. So who's going to be able to, who's going to fund that? We can't lose. I don't want to see institutions lose, like track and field and those type of things, because those are some opportunities for people to get into college, to get a free education, to go ahead and promote their lives. I like it. I think track and field's great. Equestrian, riding horses, water polo to volleyball. I mean, these things are Olympic sports. And where's this money going to come from? How are they going to be funded? If they're going to break away and that's what they want to be a part of, and being part of this, big new college football deal, because whether you like it or not, football is where revenue comes from. So most of the revenue that's gained, they're putting most of that revenue back into football. Is it fair? I didn't say it was fair. Same thing. I had a conversation the other day with a guy that works with AHSAA. And he's like, well, high school football is the last, real thing of, common decency of, players in the real true heart of the game. I agree. And I love high school football as much as anybody. However, the matters of fact are, the truths of the matter are, football's big money. And without it, especially small schools. He was like, well, small schools don't, depend on why don't they depend on football money? Yeah, absolutely they do. Sure they do. From high school to college, all this stuff is driven through money for selling football tickets. So the SAVE Act to how they handled the situation with Aaron Carter at Tennessee, going to suspend him because they bought him a plane ticket. He was a pro, but he switched back to being a college athlete, which was allowed. The NCAA okayed that, but his agent bought him a $400 ticket, which he paid him back when he got back, and he's got to be suspended 2 games. So all that stuff I just mentioned is absolute mess. It's a big, huge mess, and it's not going to get any better. Yeah, I got it on. I got it over here. I'm talking about high school football playoff bracket here. We can look at that. Let's see here. If you can get it to work. So I just don't trust anything that they can do. I just don't. I don't trust anything that can go on. I don't trust anything that the NCAA could do. HSA's made some good hires, yes, and I'm all for it. And I hope when I say this kind of stuff, it's like people think I hope it don't work out. Wow, I want to hope it don't work out. Of course, I hope it works out. I hope everything works out for the best. But unfortunately, that's just not how it is. That's just not how it is right now. Because realistically, the whole thing is that we're – hold on a minute. Wow. This thing is just jumping and clogging me up here. So the whole idea is that, to try to keep – do we kind of keep Olympic sports in college? I mean, is that not a good idea to have – I love girls basketball in college. I think it's fantastic. Track and field, I done said I love those things because it gives an opportunity for those young people to get the opportunity to get their schooling. That's what it pays for. I think it's a great idea. So let's see who we got over here. There we go. What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome into the show. Glad y'all come by and hang out with us. Yeah, there's hockey or whatever. Yeah. So let's see here. Image file. We'll look at this real quick. Y'all may not be able to see it up on the screen here. So it just gives a breakdown of the high school playoffs and what it's going to look like. It's going to be, like we said it's going to be. And this is for 1 through 5A because 6A has a little different type of bracket. So like North and South, and of course, regions 1 through 4 is South, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 is the North up here. So let's see, like over here you got game 1. Okay, region 4. No matter whatever, if you're region 4, number 1 plays region 1, number 4. Does that make sense? So 1's going to play 4 and 2 will play 3, which on then the other side, regions 5 will play 8 and region 6 will play 7. And you can find this. I got this. I think I got it on the page. I'll put it on there right now just to make sure that I did post it. Right there. Right here. Yeah. So, how are we going to – I just don't see anything saving college football in the idea of giving the government more time to, try to do it or something. Like, well, we're going to figure it out and we're going to find a way to spread the money around. They can't even do nothing with our money. It's just all a huge joke. I said this the other day, and I try to repeat myself too many times, but we have different people on and off the show watching. The thing is this. If you tried to borrow some money, and went to the bank, and they set you down and said, all right, you want to build onto your house or you want to build a shop at your house, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's look up your credit score. That's what all this is about. Type it in. If you, American citizen, me, anybody, had the credit score of our country, you would be laughed out of the bank. So if I'm an AD of a college and I'm looking for somebody to help me out with, spreading our money and doing financial things, would you want to go to the guy in town that's terrible with money, has to rent a house because he's just not made great life decisions or whatever, drives the old beater with some nice rims on it, and he's borrowed money from people, a lot of people in town, and he don't pay his money back, but you're going to go to him and ask him for money and how you should handle money? It's like going to somebody that's been divorced 10 times and asking about marital advice. What? That's what this Save College Football Act is to me. That's my opinion, and you can get the site up over there. What's up, Cody? Good to see you, brother. Hope you and the new youngins doing great. Is that somebody who you want to go ask to borrow money? I tell you what, we got some money that I need to allocate. I have 16 children. I'm going to go to this guy over here in the Trailer Park area that don't own anything and his credit rating's terrible. Here's $1 million. Make sure my kids, this money gets split up right between them. No. That's what our government is. Our credit rating as a country is absolutely terrible. It's terrible. Who wants to have anything to do with that? So that's all I'm saying. So the Save College Football Act is nothing to me. I don't even, it's not even we're not even in the market to consider it. Does that make sense? All right, YouTube subscribers, you know what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 through the summer this summer. YouTube, hit the thumbs up too. Facebook, all I ask is just comment over here. Tell me I'm crazy or you tell me you're a better idea. Just hit the thumbs up on the page. That's all you got to do. It's very free and it's very easy. See if there's Ben. He's on YouTube too. I'm on both, Ben. I found a way to hijack the system, but I can't pull up images and stuff on more at the same time because StreamYard, which is what I use here to stream, they went crazy. It's like $50 a month to stream out to 2 different platforms at once. You can do one at once, and I can put up all kind of stuff here, but you can't go 2 live at one time. Okay, so here's another great news story. Ole Miss, they're suing LSU. Well, why? Well, the SEC announced Ole Miss game will be forced by – okay, yeah. So as of the other day, University of Mississippi has filed a lawsuit. You go right here to this. Lawsuit to be filed. I'll add this on the screen here. They filed this lawsuit because the players that left Ole Miss to go to Mississippi State, they have decided that they took the money with them that they were given at Ole Miss. So edge rusher Prince Will Unamari and offensive lineman Devin Hopper, over an unpaid buyouts, are both transferred to LSU per On3's Jack Thompson. Ole Miss is reportedly seeking nearly $1 million combined from the 2 players. Judge Kelly Luther will preside over Umayanen's case, while Judge Kent E. Smith will oversee Harper's case. Both judges are Ole Miss grads. Well, imagine that. Well, I'll be darned. What about that, guys? So you're telling me that two Ole Miss judges are going to help lawsuits for Ole Miss to sue LSU to get about $500,000 apiece for these players? Oh, no way. I wouldn't believe that. Surely not. Right. So now they're saying, as we've paid them, it's like paying somebody for a job and they don't finish it. You pay a guy to mow your grass and they don't finish mowing the yard. So, what do you do? Well, if he didn't finish he mowed the front yard, but he didn't ever finish the back. Well, first of all, you should never paid him. And see, that's the problem. So what this right here, what this is going to lead up to, it sounds like a big conflict of interest. How could an overseeing judge be a graduate from the university that he's representing? What kind of that's crazy. What this is going to bring, and from Arian Foster, the story we broke out today to start the show, spending 2 games at Tennessee for getting a $400 plane ticket because his agent bought it. But he paid the agent back, but still broke a rule, 2 games spent, and they don't have any idea what's going on, all the backdoor money and $50 million rosters. But Arian Foster needs to sit out 2 games because we're NCAA. Well, now with these 2 players, it's going to get sued because they paid them money to play, to be at the University of Ole Miss. Well, they left. Well, they took the money with them that's given to them by Ole Miss to play at Ole Miss. They went to LSU. So they're saying, hey, you want the guys? Cool. You can have them. But that $500,000 apiece, we'll need that money back because it's what's it called? If you're not getting paid for your work, there's some legal lawyer terms for that I don't know. So, what are they supposed to do? Just pay them money so kids can go to a college and get paid. Leave that college, take the money with them, and go to the next college and get some more money. So LSU's got a problem with it, but I guarantee you, if them 2 boys, when the portal opens at the end of the season, after they get some money, so they get a 2-year deal or whatever, and they pay them for whatever, and they say, I think we're going to go to Texas. I bet LSU would want Texas to pay them LSU their money. Man, what a crooked scheme. That's right. Breach of contract it's what's it called? Work not rendered, or there's some term for it. I can't. I ain't that smart. So what all this is going to do, the things we're talking about here, those things are going to set part in something that I'm telling you, players are not going to like this. It's going to set forth contracts for college football players. That's what's going to wind up happening. And here's some side notes about these things I can tell you right now. And this is coming from a who told me this. We got talking about it last year. This is from a Hall of Fame high school coach. He said they already have contracts and they do sign them, but who's really representing it, 1, and 2, who's going to enforce it? But here's what he said. He said, what the players are not going to like if they start having contracts, and he said, it's coming. It's going to happen. And he's going to be right because it's going to happen. The universities, here's maybe, and everybody don't know because everybody ain't been to college, but like when I was at Jacksonville, I had classes with the football players. And the football players would come in dressed in hoodies, sweats, slides, book bags, hats, boggins, scarves. I was there in spring, winter, summer for 2 years at JSU. There for 2 football seasons a year. They played for national championship. I was there. They are given, like a food stipend. When I'd go to the food court, they would just go up there and eat. They can hang in there for like an hour or 2, and they'd do a little work in their books, and they'd go up there and eat, and they'd wait another hour or 2, and they'd go back up there and eat. Players are well taken care of. Their clothes, all this stuff that they give them. you put on contract guys, I'm telling you, that's going to go away. Because then you're going to be a paid player. And then what starts getting involved? Taxes. And here's something, I knew this part about pro football from watching Peyton Manning and stuff. And I didn't know it till, I don't know, it's probably Peyton Manning was still playing like 10, 12 years ago. They was talking about money and you know, taxes and stuff. Every state they go to and played in, there's a different tax regimens. So, like, you know, they hated it back in the day if they had to go play, you know, the Raiders out in L.A. or the San Diego Chargers because the taxes were outrageous that they had to pay for working in the state. So when you come a contract player, I know it's just going to be breaking news for a lot of people, but that's why you hit the thumbs up button. That's why you subscribe to the channel, because you learn stuff like this. And everybody don't know it. Everybody ain't supposed to know it. I'm just sharing with you what's going to happen. And this may come quick because with these two guys getting sued, and too many colleges ain't going to like getting ripped off. I mean, if you pay somebody to do a job, and Zach works a blue-collar job, plumbing stuff. If some guy pays you for a job and you don't do the job, he's going to come looking for you. And the guy that owns the company that you work for, the kind of people that they are, they would never let that happen. They're going to come find you too. So LSU should step right up and say, you're right. They did come over. You know, this is just apples and oranges, and we'll pay that, you know, money back for, but I wonder if they do. It don't seem like they're going to, because they're having to make a lawsuit out of it. So here's the idea. Oh, crap. So to kind of rebirth any of this, oh Lord, what are we going to do in light of any of this? Let me set this right here. Let's see if I can go like this. And yes. Oh Lord. I didn't know this was. Trying to do something on TikTok here and see if it'll let me go live. Let's see. So, all right. Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the show. Hit the thumbs up and like button here on live shows. I have to do some of these cut-ins because I will splice some of these videos to make 2 or 3 videos. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Come by and just enjoy some college football talk, kind of recapping on the day. Here's what we got. Aaron Carter suspended 2 games. If you want to join up on another live part of the show, you can find me on Facebook, or you can find me over on YouTube also. So Aaron Carter suspended 2 games because he took a plane trip and his agent bought the ticket for the plane for him to fly back on, because he took a pro trip, and by rule, Section 12 or something like that, you can't have a guy pay for your ticket to go whatever, you know, to go on a trip. But they classified him to be able to go to this pro trip, but then he had to come back to be a college player. So then he goes back to be in college again at Tennessee, and now they're going to suspend him 2 games. And my whole point of that is there's such a joke, and there's so much crap going on in the NCAA right now. There's they're not policing anything. So you're going to make this guy sit out 2 games? Man, come on. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've heard yet. So that's ridiculous. So, 2, the State College Football Act has to do with everything we're talking about today. It has to do with that, really. It kind of all hinges around this idea of the NCAA trying to police stuff. And it's got so far out of control and so bad out of hand. It's even leaked down into high school football, and I'm here in the state of Alabama. So AHSAA this year decided to break their private schools apart from public, therefore leading to a single and a double A leagues. Now there's a Gulf States intermediate athletic association going to try to form in the next 2 years. And, that whole it's going to have to do with North Florida and South Alabama. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff going on too. So, what do you do? How can an institution like our government that has a terrible credit score, like, the bum in the trailer park, you're going to take him $1 million and tell him, make sure he splits it up with your kids, through the year. Okay. What is that supposed to mean? How is it supposed to mean that if our government, we're going to go have them draw up an act for us for college football, but they can't even do anything themselves? You can't even borrow money. If you're the person that goes in the bank with the credit score of America, this country, you're not getting any money. You're not going to be allowed any money. So we're going to go to these people to draw up a plan for us to help us with our money situation. You're going to go to the crackhead down the corner and say, hey, man, I'm having a real hard time with my taxes and stuff. Could you help me prep my taxes? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that ties in also with this LSU is being sued by Ole Miss for these 2 players, and 2 different judges are seeing these cases, one for each player at Ole Miss that left Ole Miss going to LSU. Well, Ole Miss paid them about $400,000 a piece. Ole Miss says, hey, that's fine. Y'all can take off and go, but we paid you some money for, to be here. If LSU wants you, then they need to pay that dividend because it's what do we call it a while ago? Services unrendered. We give you money and you didn't finish the job. I paid you to mow the grass and you just mowed some of it. So how are they supposed to feel about that? I mean, just think about this from your point of view. From your point of view, if you have a guy that, hangs around your community, young man trying to work and make some money, and hey, need some money for a night to take my girlfriend out, and you know him, and you pay him $20 to push mow a little bit of your front yard or whatever. I got $10 to push a pretty nice yard, but that was like back in the early 90s when gas was like, $1 a gallon. And you pay him, and he's like, all right, he gets the front yard and it looks pretty good. And he says, I'll be back tomorrow to finish it. And you're like, okay, he'll come back tomorrow and he'll finish mowing your grass. He don't ever come back. So does Ole Miss have the right to be PO'd about this? I mean, how would you feel about it? So there's 2 different players now. So what I'm telling you is this is what's going to happen. They're going to put these contracts on players. This is what we was talking about over here on our YouTube, Facebook live post for TikTok people. This is going to put contracts on players. And I talked to a high school football coach here in Alabama. He is a Hall of Fame high school football coach. I ain't going to say who it is because he's still coaching. And he said it's not going to be nice because when I was at Jacksonville, the players, man, I went to school there when they played for national championship. I was there for those 2 years. They had all these clothes and food. They could eat whatever. When you get a contract, they're not going to be handing out sweats and slides and hoodies and boggins and gloves and backpacks and all this stuff. You're a contract player now. You're an adult. You're all on your own. And if here's your money, you do with it what you want. So instead of that money that you was handing out before, and telling everybody, all right, here's, your scholarship and all that kind of stuff. And, so then what do you do? How does all that going to work out? It's not going to work out good, guys. The players are not going to like it that they're then, because you're a contracted player, you're not going to get all these free clothes and all this stuff. Now you're going to have to buy your own clothes. You ain't going to get them cool hoodies, Under Armour, Nike stuff that they send down. I think at JSU at that time, I think we had Adidas. Then what? Then what are you supposed to do? You supposed to buy them? Or how's the players going to feel about this? Well, you got the money in your pocket, but is it the same as them giving them all these free clothes and stuff? I don't know. Y'all tell me, because it don't seem like it's just not going to work out for them. Because then once you get under paperwork and you get contracted, and these young players have paperwork put on them, and what I was saying before, well let's say this: when let's say Auburn had to play, they played UCLA, right? Well, when they went out there to go play them, guess what happens? If they're on contract, here's what happens. Because this is what happened to NFL players. Peyton Manning told this story 10, 12 years ago. Every state he went to, he had to pay taxes for that state that he played in, because then it's like you get a 1044 or whatever. Like, your employer is not going to pay it. You have to pay it yourself because you're a contracted worker. Guys, it's way more complicated than what y'all think. And it's more complicated. I'm not trying to act like I know, but I know a little bit. And I'm just sharing from what I know from pro football player talks on Netflix and that kind of stuff. When the Auburn players went out to UCLA, yeah, 1099. When the UCLA players went out to play in California, if those Auburn players were under contract, they would have had to pay taxes for whatever the taxes are in California, and they are crazy in California. I know some people that work that come in and out over there at California, and they don't have grocery tax and stuff like that, but everything else is crazy. It's insane what they have to put up with out there. So if the Auburn players, when they went to UCLA, they're in a contract, well, they paid you, okay, you're a lineman, and everybody's under contract. Well, these linemen don't make, they're on $100,000, money. They're not big money like Cam Coleman's and Ryan Williams and Sam Levitz and Minshew and those guys, Miami QB, maybe Lagway at Baylor. They're not into all that kind of stuff, right? So the quarterback that's making $5 million pays the same amount of taxes as the left and right guard, or the center that's making $150,000 a year, and they have to pay whatever it costs. They've charged taxes in that state. If it's 20% of whatever set, I don't know how they set the prices per game, but it have to be. If they're going to do it by contract, I guess it's done by game. So if you make $20 million and just say you paid 20 games, which they don't, not yet. God's sake, we get 2014 playoff. We'll talk about that too if you want to. Jesus Christ. We can't play 2014. There ain't enough time to make 24 team playoff. Then that means you get paid $1 million a game. If there's 20 games, you get paid, or if you make $10 million and there's 10 games. See what I'm saying? So that's like, okay, we're stifling it out like you're going to make $1 million a game. So 10% of that is what, $100,000? Is it 10% of what you make, or is it 10% set amount? Guys, this stuff is going to be so complicated. It's going to be, and it's coming high school football. Wherever you live out, give me a shout out over there. Everybody, where you watching, type in the state where you at, because I'm curious to know where everybody's kind of watching from. Be kind of cool to see. So that's where we're at. And the Tennessee player gets suspended 2 games. Ole Miss, they want to return. They want to return on their money. They paid them for services that were unrendered. They didn't get what they paid for. So how do you turn that around? How do you turn that into something more? Here's the sad part. It's such it's become such big business now. It has lost some of its finite touches to really have a love for the game and an understanding of what it's really supposed to be about, because it's supposed to be an amateur sport. And we'll start from Pee Wee to high school. It's super amateur, to where the fact is, honestly, and you tell me in the comments, make sure you hit the like button over here while you watch it. I would appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up, everybody. Share the video. If, it's really supposed to be about technique and learning the game, winning and losing is not supposed to be the end-all, be-all for Pee Wee and high school football. Yes or no? You can agree. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Matt, you're crazy. It's supposed to be about learning the game, learning to be part of a team. Heck, I mean, the ages I coached at too, all those, the young guys, just getting them together in one spot and getting them to be on time, which they can't control when they can't drive. But just getting them to run together. I always did the stretches and the workout stuff with them. And just getting them to be in unison. I had them do old school jumping jacks just to be in unison together to do stuff. That's what it's really about. It's an amateur sport. It's about being physical and playing hard, and it's hot and it's messy, but you get to be dudes. And you get to take out some of that dude on some other people. You get to knock their face off and go out there and have a good time doing it. When the game's over, win or lose, you walk across the field and you shake their hand. And linemen learn how to get in a good stance. Quarterbacks from younger age to even high school, younger age, is just teach them how to take a snap, to learning some plays, to recognizing defenses, and for defenders, learning to be aggressive, fight with your hands, having good footwork, lineman, offense, having good footwork. And then in high school, you just keep tuning it down. You just keep refining and refining and refining the button. That's what you do. You just keep refining the button on down a little bit more as they go through high school and into college. But now, you got all this. Well, is it really amateur anymore? They're getting paid. They're getting paid now. So is it really amateur hour? For guys, if you don't think there's high school players getting paid, I'm speaking about Alabama, you're crazy. If you don't think there's high school football players getting paid from your big schools like out in Cali, shout out Cali people if we got some people watching, Mater D and those type of schools, and they just dropped their schedule. And the game one, they got a big game one. Texas, South Carolina has a lot of good high school football. Got any Florida people in here? Have you ever heard of the Muck Bowl? Look that up. Players are getting paid. Well, man, that's just not true. It's not true for every school. I know that. Every school's not out there getting paid. But a lot of them are. And to be naive and think that it's not, you're just being foolish and you're trying to ignore the problem. Because what we're talking about right now is these young men in college, they're fixing to be contracted players. And they don't even understand how to pay taxes, because if they get contracts going, they better make it where agents have to be licensed. They better make it where licensed agents are the ones handling these young men. That's what's important right now, because your drunk uncle and your best friend down at the Golden Gallon, or some guy that used to coach you in football, and there's probably, from what I know in small scale, I know for just around Alabama, more North Alabama, there's a lot of great people out there that represent these young men. And I may be a little naive, but I think there may be more good than bad. we just only hear about the bad. It's the same way with social issues. We only hear about the crap. They zoom in on two guys fighting and say the whole city's burning down and is going to break out in war. Then the drone backs out to the whole block. You got people 2 blocks down the road having coffee and nothing's going on. So you need to be out there. And some people that don't know, and if you don't know, that's fine. But if they put contracts on these guys, and who's going to represent them? Who's going to be, making sure they're getting good deals? And these colleges not, ripping these young guys off, because everybody is not Cam Coleman getting a deal. Everybody's not Ryan Williams. Not every player like Milroe got a big deal with Beats by Dre. Or Cam had a deal with Popeye's Chicken. Or Ryan's got a deal with Nike. I'm just using them because those are just guys I know. Or Alvin Henderson, 1A star running back from Elba. Who's making sure this money's done right with all these young men? And they put contracts out there for all these guys to be able to take it, What up, Mason? So how is it going to be, more of a situational thing where young people are not taken advantage of, and that we can come to some kind of agreement that it's going to be the best thing for the future? Because where it's going, the NCAA suspending Aaron Carter for 2 games for a $400 plane ticket. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? What are you talking about? NCAA has no control over nothing. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I don't know, man. It's just where we're at in this off season. We're under 30 days. So hit us in the comments over here. Tell us who your favorite football team is. We're rocking and rolling over on YouTube. We're rocking on Facebook. We got about probably got about 200 or 300 people watching all together. Appreciate everybody for coming by. Y'all hit the thumbs up while you come by the page and hang out, man. We're just talking sports. This is locker room talk. This is how dudes talk. Except I don't try not to cuss on here. I don't need to do that. It's just talking ball. We don't get in politics. It's not rehearsed. I don't have a letter or script sitting out in front of me. On the Sunday show, if I have a bunch of teams I'm breaking down, I may have a script for players' names and stuff like that. But we're always on Big Show Sunday nights, always on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll try to do more on TikTok. I tried to do that before, and I changed phones, and I lost my TikTok stuff, so I just never did sign back up to it. I've always just been busy over here I got a lot of people on Facebook, and YouTube's just hard. You're just not going to get a lot of views on YouTube. If you're not a gamer, the biggest sports shows like Josh Pate. If you want to watch other football shows on YouTube, if y'all like Josh Pate, give me a thumbs up over there. Hit the heart button, send some flowers or whatever. He'll get 2,000 or 3,000 views. Craney Company, they work on 3 now. Their biggest shows are like 4,000 or 5,000 views, maybe. I've had shows that I've had 4,000 or 5,000 views on. Just depends on the topic, what's going on. So, I got a lot of people wanting to join and jump in here on, let's see. I don't know about. Let's see here. Yeah, when I figure out how to do it, I will let you join in on the show. But I don't know everybody on there on this other pages. They get on there saying some crazy stuff. If they cuss and acting wild, I have to delete them. I'll cuss their dumb ass out. So anyway, that's kind of what we got for the day. And yeah, about an hour is what we like to get on. What else? Oh, the 2014 playoff and Brett Bielema. Did anybody see Brett Bielema's talk? if you're a Big Ten fan, hit the thumbs up over here, like it, comment, tell me I'm crazy. Say, man, I'm an Indiana fan, and we beat the Tide like an old ragged sock. But Belam said with his SEC record, Zach, what was Belam's record over here in SEC? What years was he here? Was he here from like 2010 to 15, something like that? I think he's like 10 and 30 or something, or 10 and 15 and 45. His record or something like that. So Brett Belam, Illinois' head coach, said that the SEC is living like they're still in 2005. I just I don't know. I had to look up. I tried to Google what did he mean by 2005, and Google responded that it has to do with how players are being paid and stuff at this time, and how that kind of started. Like, no, that's so 2005 is out. Like, I don't. So Belam talking trash about the SEC, and I don't know about that. He wasn't successful here, so he goes off to, he was good at Wisconsin. He's a good coach. Then he comes down here at Arkansas and he's terrible. Then he goes back up north. Now the SEC sucks. Bro, Illinois, they beat Tennessee last year, and Tennessee had, I always think of number 7. It may not be 7. I sort of read that they had 7 starters out. I know their DBs didn't play, and they had some linebacker that didn't play. He was getting ready to go pro or something. And then today, this is Big Ten Media Day. All right, quote, and you can type this in. Just type in Big Ten Media Day, Kurt Cignetti. This is what he's saying. Kurt Cignetti comes out today and says, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. Kurt Cignetti says, coach at Indiana. We believe everything's earned, not given. When we fall short, we say we fell short. When we don't cry a river and whine and complain, that's why we're the best. What does that even mean? What? Somebody comment and break it down. Go. Tell me. Hit the comments. 13 to 17. I said it was like 10 to 15. So he was 29 and 34 record. That's what it was. 11. I said 11-25. He's 11-26 in the SEC. So this guy, we'll go back to Cignetti. Belam says that we need to stop living like it's 2005. I don't know what that means. I mean, y'all, again, comment over there, follow the page, and hit up there and share the page stuff. I come on here through the week. Sunday night's a big show, and I'll try to get over here and share more on TikTok on Sunday nights too. So anyway, Belam, you're nobody. He looks to me like the adult version of Butthead on Beavis and Butthead Do America. You know what I'm talking about? He looks like Butthead to me. The adult. Like when they get out in the desert and they, meet their dads and they don't even know it. He looks like Butthead. And Cignetti could be Beavis. He kind of does. He's kind of got that weird, goofy-looking eyebrows down. If he just pulled his shirt up over his head and put his hands up like this, he could be Cornholio. Cignetti could be Cornholio. I really think he could be. And he's a good coach, and I'm not taking that away from his coaching, but again, he comes in there and says, we don't run away from, the hype, and we believe everything's earned and not given, and we don't cry about. What is he talking about? Crying? Who's crying about what? Yeah, he looks like Butthead's daddy. I'm at Brett Belam, Illinois coach. Like they beat like a bad South Carolina team like 2 years ago. And the problem is when you tell Big Ten people, well, the SEC guys just they opt out of these bowls. They just do. Well, it's just a cop-out. Well, okay, it is a cop-out. I guess it's not an excuse. It's just true. We can't make them play. If they're not playing for a national championship, then it's not important. That's the way they are. Is that right? No, absolutely not. I hate it. I think it's being a candy tail. I think you're being soft. I believe you need to play with your brothers. Whoever took you to the dance, that's who you need to play with. Y'all get there and all you make is the GoDaddy Bowl. By God, you should play that bowl with your brothers, especially if you're a senior. Well, I might get hurt for the – well, you know what? If Frog had wings, every time he jumped, he might bump his butt, and mites grows on his chicken's ass. But we don't fear mites on chickens' butts neither. We don't have mites. We don't worry about those things. Well, I get hurt, man. I don't – coach, I need to be careful. I don't want to play in that bowl game. What if and mites – it's the fear of failure. It's some kind of sick disease that some of our kids got. And I made sure that mine that played for me never got that. I coached more baseball than I did football. My God, swing the bat. You know how many kids I got out or cussed at or something that, or hollered at, that swung the bat and went down swinging? None. Not ever. Because we can work on their stride. We can work on how they're throwing their hands to the ball. We can work on that kind of stuff. But he's got to practice. They're just kids. They're practicing, not MLB players. These high school football kids, they're not going to play pro. Most of the college ones don't either. So it's about, refining your techniques, learning to be a team player, learning how to take a loss from that kind of stance all the way on. So these kids opting out of bowl games is just part of it. Is it stupid? Yeah. It's very stupid. I don't like it. I'm nearly 50. I was born in the 70s. I don't like it at all. I'm Gen X. I think they should play. Ronnie Lott literally cut his pinky off in a game. I know he's a pro player, but he finished the game. He cut the end of his pinky off because he got mashed twin helmets. I think they were playing the Cowboys. And he said, there's no way I'm not playing this game. I'm just telling you, there's not a lot of them left. So when the Big Ten comes down here and thumps up on the SEC and all these bowl games, but you know what, Iowa, I don't think nobody opted out of Vanderbilt game. Do y'all? Tell me if I'm wrong. I was not they're a very consistent top 20 football team. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Pavia. I watched the whole game. They gave them a lot of trouble. But games like Illinois play in Tennessee when you got 7 or 8 guys out for Tennessee, and Illinois did have a guy out. Big Ten fans, don't kill me, but y'all, you can. That's fine. I don't care. I wore glasses in the 80s. I got picked on enough. I got tough skin. Trust me. Well, I think their defensive end that Illinois had, he was good. He opted out. I don't think he played. But still, the point is this. Balaam, shut up. Shut the heck. Okay, what are you talking about? You ain't hearing nobody, man. You ain't never won nothing. Illinois ain't never going to win nothing. Try to win the conference one time and not like you're somebody to talk about. The SEC wants to pretend like they're stuck in 2005 forever. What is he talking? What is that? I don't know what it means. But then Cignetti – he's talking about not making excuses in that time. He's just trying to be Nick Saban again. He's just trying to ride the tails. The dude worked there as like what job was he, Zach? What job was Cignetti at Alabama? He was there in 10, 11, 12 or something like that. He was there for like a year or two. He's like a receiver coach or something. They act like he was Nick Saban's right-hand man. He's up there drawing up plays or something. Who was the offensive coordinator then at Bama and when Cignetti was there? Was it Nussmeier or one of those guys? What is he talking about? We don't run from – he's just trying to sound cool. Debating Kirk Cignetti recent comments on college football. Yes. What's up, Jacob? Hope you're doing well there, young man. Good to see you. Jacob's a good one. I'll use him as an example. He won't care. For him not to play high school football, just high school football in a little small town USA, he had to cut his arm off. And he's just a regular, good, normal working man now. There's kids still out there that have pride. So don't take too big a heart in that microscope technique that the news does. They zoom in on two guys fighting and act like the whole county's on fire. Don't believe all the hype because the media says a lot of stuff. We could talk about a lot of other things, but I ain't going to because it's a football show. They like to zoom in on stuff and make it like it's a big deal. And when you back out of it, it's lies. It's a bunch of crap. It's just to make people do this. Click and like something so they get content because it's COA. It's content over everything. I can get on here and say some wild stuff like, anybody don't believe that Auburn's winning the national championship this year, y'all are absolutely out of your mind. Byron Bram, the guy's a 4,000 yard. Look at all the yards and stuff he ran and threw for. Nobody else has done that before. Jaden Daniels is the last guy to do that. Byron Bram is that guy at Auburn. Are you kidding me? Gullish call plays in the SEC. He's awesome. I don't see Auburn losing a game this year. Boom. Somebody could clip that right there and put that out. And it would sound crazy. But I would get a lot of clicks and people come on my video. Well, you stupid. What the hell's wrong with you? Auburn, they'd be lucky to win 7 national champ. See what I'm saying? But that's what people do. That's the world we live in. And that's maybe why, right, clip it. And that's maybe why, like my YouTube channel or maybe TikTok stuff don't blow up and go like, 100,000 because I don't say that kind of stuff. I just want to talk and have a good time. Just have a community, come by, hang out, talk some mess. We'll talk crap about our teams back and forth, but that click stuff, I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing it. I watched Cam Newton today. Y'all watch 4th and 1? What's up, Ben? Y'all watch 4th and 1? Cam Newton show. I love it. He was dogging on Ryan Clark a little bit today. Clark was, I talked about that the other day. Ryan, he was, crying. And I don't know if it's real or if he's doing it for clicks or because he is a COA guy and he does have a podcast and he don't have a job at ESPN no more. He lost $2 million a year. That is the income, But it is just COA over everything. Ben says, I would love to see Troy and Jacksonville State join lineup with Birmingham and Southern Alabama to host. Well, I know. Yeah. We've been trying to do that for wait a minute. There was what was the reason? Something I read something because I remember that come across the page at JSU's. I follow them on Twitter. They talked about it. It's been a conversation. But they are playing it at South Alabama, Ben. The state championship game is there this year. It's going to be there at Mobile. Yeah. And they are going to rotate it. I guess I wish they just – here's what needs to happen. Since we want to talk about high school football, you can bring it up. It's fine. Just leave it at UAB. Why can't we just be in the middle? And it just makes most sense. Talking about high school football, Alabama, why don't you just leave it in the middle? Why not? Why do we need to go South Alabama? Always great for the South teams, which the North did win more games this year now. Now, y'all have been kicking our tail, but last year we come out by the majority on top a little bit. But are they going to have it at UAH? I think they're supposed to go back and forth or whatever, I mean, why? Just leave it in the middle. Just it'd be fair to everybody. So, but that's back Signati and Balaam and them whining about all their crap and players opting out of bowl games and kids don't have integrity to play the game but a lot of kids do, and most do. But like I said, you just see the stories about the ones that don't. And that's just the way it is because it's just media. See, 25 at Birmingham, 26-28 South Alabama. Okay. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah, 20. So this year it's going to be in South Alabama in December this year, right? Pretty sure that's what I read. It's a Super 6 now. Yeah. December 1st through the 5th of this year, it'll be at Hancock Stadium, Mobile, Alabama. Yeah. Mobile hosts this year and again in 28. Well, crap. So then next year, this year it's going to be in Mobile, and then 27 it's going to go back to Birmingham. So they're just going to rotate between Birmingham and Mobile. That's crap. That's crap. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ben. I ain't looking on YouTube. I'm on StreamYard, and it's just showing me Facebook stuff. If you want to hit me up. I hadn't looked on YouTube much. It's on my second tab. Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be revenue for Troy. Why not? Why can't we play it up here at UAH? That's close. I'm like 30 minutes from UAH, from the college. 30 minutes down the road. Why play it in the South? Why don't we play in high school football championship games in Alabama and put it in the middle? Put it where it's the same, about the same for everybody. We already got away from doing it in Auburn, Alabama because of the playoffs. Well, Auburn ain't been in the playoffs ever, so you could just kept them in the rotation. I don't know. But talking about playoffs, and I broke this Tuesday. The news broke Tuesday just 30 minutes before I come on live. I come on about 6 or so Tuesday night. Big Ten Media Days, getting finished up, whatever. Tony Petitti says that he's ready, and you can find this. Heather Denny's covered this Tuesday. It broke about 5, and I went on at 6. That he's ready to cancel the Big Ten championship game, and they're ready to start the 2014 playoff. And his quote was something like, to the matters of like, just the faster we start it, the quicker we're going to get to it, better it'll be. What? So let's just hurry up and rip the Band-Aid off. Petitti wants the 2014 playoff to start next year. And that's not what the agreement was. That's not at all what they agreed on. Because the ACC and the Big 12 all said, way different. They're saying that the proposed 2014 college football playoff is being pushed to start next year. The timeline is of course not yet finalized, but 26 season plan is this upcoming season. The postpone will strictly remain under the 12-team format, as what we've had. But the push for 27, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti is leading the charge, re-energizing the talks that the league is prepared to eliminate their conference championship game, he said yesterday, to clear up calendar space to make a 2014 playoff by 27. The ACC, Big 12, and Notre Dame all support this. The SEC holdout for 27 rolled out to happen that the SEC and the Big Ten must officially agree by December the 1st of this year. The SEC is currently holding out, preferring a 16-team model until the revenue and logistics details are presented. Because we know what it's all about. What is it all about, guys? Hit the money sign. Just go ahead and put it up there. That's what it's about. Matt, why is SEC holding out? They're scared. That's what it is, Matt. We're Big Ten. We beat the SEC. They don't want none of this. No, it's about money. The SEC is holding out. Why would they be scared of the Big Ten? What they got? crappy Big Ten champ beat an ACC team. Whoopity-doo. For the championship. They're holding out for the deal because the SEC is sponsored and ran through ESPN, right? And the Big Ten is run through who? Fox. Well, Fox's deal runs out with the Big Ten, I think 29. So the Big Ten's trying to get all the money they can right now out of this so they can have a ledger to look at when they apply for a new deal in 2030 for Fox. But the SEC's deal with ESPN runs out when? I think it's 2030 or 2031. So the SEC's trying to hold out for another year or two until it gets closer to our time for our deal ending with ESPN that we can cut a new deal. Because, why, Matt? What does that really matter? Because not just add more games because of a 2014 playoff, but already we know that probably, honestly, let's just be honest. And be honest, guys. How many of the 2014 playoff teams will be SEC? Go. Eight. Somebody give me a number. Eight. 8 teams over here. I'll give people time to put a number in. How many SEC teams will be in a 2014 playoff? We'll just say it happens next year. They go ahead and do it. The SEC agrees in December of this year, and they say, all right, we're in. How many SEC teams will make it? How many SEC teams are going to be in a 2014 playoff? I'm just writing this down, taking notes here. SEC teams in 2014 playoff. I'm going to say 8. That leaves 16 more spots. Okay. Out of 16 spots left, you got to count Notre Dame in there. So at least 15 spots. Out of 15 left, you're going to have at least 2 non-power 5 power forward teams. Non-power forwards. So if there's at least 2, at least 13. So out of 13 left, how many is going to be ACC? How many is going to be Big 12? How many is going to be Big 10? And don't forget, Pac-12, it's not 12 teams, I don't think, anymore. But how many of them, let's say Oregon State gets ranked. Okay. Pac-12, they'll have 1, so that gives 12. Okay, the Big 12, let's say they have 3. That leaves 9. ACC, how many is ACC going to put in a 2014 playoff next year? We got 9 spots left. ACC is going to put in let's say I have 4. At least 5 spots for the Big Ten. I don't think they got 5 that can get in. I don't think the Big Ten has 5 teams. It ain't Indiana no more. I just don't see it. They got a 3-star quarterback from TCU that has thrown for 10,000 yards, throw for a lot of yards. He's some backup kid. Ohio State. Michigan's on. They got a new coach, man. I love their new coach. He's great. He's a heck of a coach. I've already counted for Notre Dame. Big Ten's got 5 spots. So they're going to have to be ranked between 1 and 24 somewhere. There's a Big Ten right now. Let's just go over here to this. There's a Big Ten right now. Let's just go to ESPN and just see what the last model was. Schedules. All right, here's your Big Ten in no order. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Rutgers, UCLA, USC, Washington, Wisconsin. Okay. We got to get 5. USC will make the top 25. Maybe Purdue. Ohio State. We need 2 more. Iowa and Michigan. So we're trying to put together a 2014 playoff considered by the Big Ten. Yeah, Oregon. Yeah, probably not Penn State. So we'll take Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, and Nebraska may be pretty good this year. We'll put Nebraska. There's 5 teams. So we just filled out a 2014 playoff. What chances now do you feel like, to be honest, I'm going to be honest about the SEC teams, because I had, how many did I say for SEC? 8. I had SEC for 8. And the Big Ten has 5. So they're going to jock for a 2014 playoff. And here's what I've heard commentary from up north, from I don't know if it's Indiana or Iowa podcast guy. The SEC is just stalling because they just don't want to. They're just scared because they won't have enough teams to put in for the 2014 playoff. That's what the. Yeah, you're right. You figured it out. You're a goddamn genius, Gump. Holy shit, you're a dang genius. The SEC is scared to play a 2014 playoff, even though the top 25 has about 8 or 10 SEC teams in it every year. Yeah, they're scared. They're running. They should at least have 6 every year. Now, how many of the if SEC has 6 SEC teams, if they have 6 conference teams to go to 2014, that'll leave, I guess 7 for the Big Ten, something like that. About 7 teams for them to go. Now, of any of those 7 that we just went through, the 5, and we'll add 2 more, like maybe Penn State and Purdue's usually ranked. Washington's supposed to have a good squad this year. Okay, we could add them in there. Out of Washington, Purdue, USC, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, Iowa. Who of them's winning it? Well, here's the thing. It's good to be healthy when you don't play a tough schedule. It's great to be healthy. We're talking about 2014 playoff and, the Big Ten and where they'll be with all this. if your strength of schedule, we just did this Sunday night, their overall strength of schedule for a 24-team playoff should be good for the Big Ten because their strength of schedule, which means the ranked teams that they play all together as a conference, is about 41. Me and Zach did this last year during the season. The SEC's was 7. Now they're saying it's 10. We're talking 30 spots different in strength of schedule. Guys, what are you talking about? Hello? If your strength of schedule is that lame and you got nearly 20 teams in there and you probably can't even get half of your conference in there, you're pushing to add more teams so you think you can get more teams in there. I don't think that the bad teams in the Big Ten are any better than the bad teams probably in the Big 12 or maybe in the ACC maybe. I don't know. You know, I mean, Clemson's not dead and gone. I mean, everybody's wrote them off, but so what are you supposed to do? Well, Signetti said in his comments over here at Big Ten Media Day, Indiana head coach, by God, we don't run, we ain't scared, we don't make excuses, we don't cry. I don't think nobody's running scared down here in the SEC. They're just not. Just freaking get over yourself, man. It's freaking ridiculous. So that's all I got for today. We'll sign off here, guys. We appreciate everybody for coming by and hanging out. It's been a fantastic show, man. Great for a Thursday night. We're going to let the amount of teams every year, no matter how big the field gets. That's what Zach says. He thinks we're going to lead the field. And who's to say that we can't? So, y'all come by and hang out Sunday night. And we will be right back then. Come by about 6 o'clock. We'll break down 2 more big SEC teams. So y'all come back then. And y'all come back Sunday. We'll have 2 more SEC teams. I don't know who we're doing this week. Crap, I ain't even looked. Dang, it is Thursday. I need to start scratching around into that. If you hit the comments quick, give us 2 more teams you want us to break down Sunday. 2 SEC teams. We've already done Mississippi State, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas. Probably about time to do about Florida and Auburn, maybe. I do Florida and Auburn. I don't know. Y'all come back and hang out with me then. And we'll see you then. All right, YouTube subscribers, we appreciate you guys. Love you very much. Thank you all for coming by, Ben. It's fantastic. It's great to see you, bro. And we'll catch you next time. Facebook people, y'all the ones. We appreciate you. And come back and holler at us Sunday night. Y'all be cool. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God. Enjoy your work day tomorrow and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you.